Hello everyone and welcome to ABG's Investor Days. My name is Carl Bokvist. I'm an industrial analyst here at ABG. With us now we have the pleasure of hosting Transtema and CEO Magnus Yuwanson. The presentation format will be as the ones we've had similarly previously during the day. So we will first hear a presentation from Magnus and afterwards a bit of a Q&A. Without further ado, Magnus, thank you for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Magnus Yuwanson. I'm the CEO of Transtema. I'm happy to be here today to give this brief presentation of the company. Transtema is a professional services company in the telecoms market. We mainly do business in the telecom arena, but we have broadened it over time. We provide a full range of services, including the network design, and we're talking about both fixed and wireless networks. We do planning, we do build and engineering on the networks, and we also do installation and configuration, of course, of the equipment involved. And our focus is on the operation and maintenance side, where we provide 24/7 operation. We cover the Nordics, mainly in Sweden and Norway, but also we have some business in the other Nordic countries. But as I said, mainly Sweden and Norway. We are very proud of our certifications and the quality level that we have achieved, including a number of ISO certifications, the Swedish certification Robust Fiber, and a very highly appreciated security classification that we have here in Sweden, which it means that we can take high security projects on hand. And we also have been awarded a Telia award last year for Best Collaboration Partner, which we are very proud of. If we look briefly at the company, just a few key facts. We are around 1,100 employees. We established back in '97, having the same business idea basically ever since. Last year we had a turnover of roughly 1.7 billion Swedish kronas. And since last autumn in September, we are listed on the main market in Stockholm in small cap. Currently we have presence in 85 locations in Sweden and a number of locations in Norway as well. Our main business, which you will see, is handling a massive amount of tickets, which could be small installations or service tickets. We handle about 300,000 of those tickets every year, so it's a rapid business that we're working with. If we look at our strategy, or rather the foundation of the company, our bet is that in the future will we see higher and higher requirements for on all of the communication networks, including fixed networks and wireless networks. And those requirements include, of course, connectivity, availability, reliability, and last but not least, security. And that is the foundation of our business, that we aim to fulfill that need or that demand. And we're talking, of course, both human beings, but also machines, or you may call it IoTs or machine-to-machine communication. Everything will be connected more or less in the future, and everything needs to be online and working. To meet this demand, our focus is to be that partner that can provide these reliable and stable and secure networks to the community in general. We talk a lot about innovation in Transtema, and that I will get back to that a bit later. But we want to drive a fairly conservative business which we are in, towards digitalization, towards innovation, doing things a better way, a smarter way, a leaner way, and a more sustainable way in the future. And of course, we aim for leadership in our market in terms of leadership, but also equality. We have a history of being fairly male-dominated market in the telecom market. If we dig down into our business model, as I said, we focus on operation and maintenance, which means we're O&M centric in a way. So our business model is a bit different from some other companies in our field that focus on projects and building the networks. We aim to achieve what we call vested agreements, which means that we partner with our customers. We have a very strong and open relationship where we can adjust terms and conditions and pricing over time for mutual success. Because what we do provide customer satisfaction to our customer's customer, and that is a very important part of our business. And the way we approach our business is that we aim, or both we and our customers aim to find or to sign long-term contracts. When we sign deals, or we make partnerships, we go in for the long run. Which means that our customer relationship, they grow very strong over time. We have a predictable cash flow, mainly because of the 300,000 plus tickets we have every year. That gives us more or less as a SaaS model. We have very high predictability in our cash flow, and of course in our revenue also. This also means that the seasonality is low in the company. Also in terms of changes in the overall economy in society, we are fairly resilient to that too. And of course, our business includes that we have lower risk than in the market in general. Unique selling points we have in the company, that we have a national coverage. We can reach more or less every Swede in an hour. We operate with that national coverage nowadays both in Sweden and Norway. And we have dual network operation centers, both in Sweden, that provide 24/7 network operations. We have a field services organization, and we have a customer support. All of these is aiming at keeping the networks running all year, every day. I mentioned innovation in our service delivery. We work hard, we invest a lot and work hard to both develop automation and digitalization in as I said, a fairly conservative business. And I think we have succeeded so far, but we have a lot more to do in the future. Just to be very clear on the business model and how we strive to make our money. If you look at this picture, you see at the bottom picture here, we have a production platform, including a service operation center, network operation centers, our logistics, or our procedures, our IT systems, our entire infrastructure with offices and presence throughout the country. And that platform can be reused, whatever kind of business we add on to our business. And we have a number of resources, of course, both internal resources, multi-skill engineers, we have managers and what have you. We have also subcontractors, we have consultants, our own consultants offering services to our customers. And on top of that, we have our business. Our core business is telecoms, but we are aiming to add on more business on top of the same machine. We are going to talk about e-mobility and also facility and site management in a while. And as we develop new businesses that leverage from the same platform and the same resources, we see a clear opportunity for margin improvement over time. Just as an example, the e-mobility arena that we have entered last year, and we now see traction in the business. We have a fair amount of great customers in the e-mobility area. We provide roughly the same, as you say, as we do in the telecoms, meaning we have our national installation capability, we do balancing, we do design optimizing, and we can handle the most complex projects as we do in telecoms. We manage all the connectivity from the charging station, whether it's fiber or wireless, we don't really care, we handle them both. And we provide the 24/7 remote monitoring, the administration and operations. And of course, our immense field service organization is always ready to fix whatever is wrong. And on the right side of the slide, you see the projection of the growth of installations, in this case in Sweden. So you can see that we're only in the beginning of this huge opportunity. Facility and site management, that's more of a kind of a bolt-on business for us, since we have our organization being present throughout Sweden and now also in Norway. We we can add more services to our customers, and that is what we're doing now. We add capabilities within power, cold, access, and security, and that's sort of the name for all that. It would be site management when we talk telecoms. We have recently signed a contract with Cellnex here in Sweden, managing 2,700 sites and towers throughout Sweden, which is we're very proud to be able to have that contract. And as we see in the market, as telcos tend to outsource or sell their assets and lease them back, basically, that means a growing opportunity for us in Transtema. If we look at our track record, our financial performance, and I know these pictures are very small, so I don't expect you to be able to see the numbers. Last year, we delivered a 20% organic growth, which we're very proud of. We had a EBITDA margin of roughly 8%, also a very fine number. And if you look over time, we are certain that we can achieve our financial goals that we have set. Also looking at cash conversion and the capital, working capital, we have a stable financial situation. Just last week, we signed an agreement to acquire a Norwegian company called Detta. And we have previously announced that we are looking for two kinds of acquisitions. And one is to be able to establish in a neighboring Nordic country. And we have been looking for a company much like ourselves, meaning that we can provide a full range of professional services from planning, from building and operations in that country. And after a long process of finding the right company, we found Detta, which we now have acquired, which means that we have a platform in Norway to further grow our business. They are a full-service telecom partner today. Biggest customer is Telenor, but they also have Telia and Global Connect on the customer list. We see possibilities to expand the customer base, of course. We see operational synergies with our platform and the resources we have in the company today. So they are ready and to add new business opportunities. So we really look forward to start working with our new Norwegian friends. Looking at the numbers, these are pro forma numbers. Basically what we do, we add on roughly 400 million Swedish kronor in terms of revenue and more or less the same margin as we delivered last year. So we see this as a great leap forward for us. Sustainability for us, it's not a, how do you say, not a burden. It's not just added cost or anything like that. We quite early realized that sustainability is much more beyond just saving the planet. For us, it's really a business opportunity. I mentioned innovation, where we can, if we can save a visit to a site for a service, we can do it in some other matter. That will be a real boost to sustainability. So we see sustainability as an opportunity, which makes us really want to drive the question of sustainability within our company. We see long-term profitability options or opportunities. We see that our brand would be much more appreciated in the market. And the reputation in the labor market, where we're in a competitive labor market, if we can be a much more attractive employer, then it's worth all the money in the world. Business or product development, back to innovation again, and we will see a quite interesting development within Transtema in the future. And of course, we also see that risk is decreasing as we add more sustainability in the company. Talking about sustainability is one thing, doing it is quite another. And we have decided on fairly exciting goals. Together with our main customers, we have set these goals, and we have set partial goals along the way, how to achieve them. And we have say that in 2030, we're going to be absolutely free of fossil CO2, which is quite a challenge because we have a lot of cars today that needs to be replaced. And we also say that by the same years, 2030, we are going to have all our waste is going to be recycled. So we have we're really trying to push the sustainability issue. And we also signed up for the SBTI, or Science-Based Target Initiative, and we have set our goals, and we're going to follow through on all of them. Finally, what's happening now in Transtema? What are we going to do next? We have a solid underlying business in Sweden and now also in Norway, and we're looking to add on more business opportunities, of course, leveraging from the platform on our factory, so to speak. We're already doing my mobile rollout. Fixed wireless is underway. Indoor coverage, e-mobility we talked about, FM and site management, but also in terms of IoT, prop tech, we see opportunities where we can provide all the connectivity needed for that to happen. And of course, in the security area as well. So we're going to add on organic growth, seeing new business opportunities going ahead, but we will see, you will see over time also bolt-on acquisitions from us. Could be adding a specific skill or customer through an acquisition, or even entering a new geographical market. So we see an exciting future, and we really look forward to all that happening in 2022 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Magnus. So to start off, before we discuss the acquisitions, you discuss the kind of transition in terms of strategy for Transtema, moving perhaps away from fiber to the home and different applications like data centers, I think, towards the more stable business. How should people look at Transtema today when it comes to how much of a business that is related to new installations and how much is related to the standard service, maintenance, uptime focus?
If you're referring to fiber to the home, that's more or less ancient history now. That's back in 2018, in 2019 we abandoned fiber to the home projects. So from our point of view, that's just history now. If you look at our current business, we have a majority of our business in the operations and maintenance, and that's sort of the core. That's the how do you say, the spearhead of our company, because there we see all the benefits I talked about in our business model. But of course, we also do installations, we also do consulting services, etc., but to a lesser degree. But what we have said that the risks involved in excavation, large-scale excavation, no thanks. That's what we have said, and I think we have been really successful in transforming Transtema from back in 2019 to what we see today, and you can see it in our quarterly reports. So I think we're there. Now we need to expand and broaden the business.
Because as you mentioned, your organic growth is quite noticeably above your target, which is 10% total growth, I think, and margins at around 7-8%. Your target is 5%. How should we think about this as you expand into e-mobility and grow in perhaps new regions?
I get that question every time. We have performed above our financial goals. We know that, and it could be that the board of Transtema choose to adjust our goals. But what we have said, that we said just after this strategy shift that we have been through, and now after doing an acquisition, we don't want to create expectations that are too high. Let's say that I don't think so, but let's say we do an acquisition that we need to fix one way or the other, so we will have a temporary dip in margin, let's say. So you will see adjusted financial goals over time, but the board hasn't decided to do it yet, at least.
And we hear a lot from different market participants that e-mobility is a rapidly growing segment. A lot of people want to try and position themselves for the growing market. It will be a kind of a significant amount of new builds. So how will you try to approach that market?
I think there are a lot of players in that market going in for in installations into private households, etc. They're a huge volume. That's not our way to do it, because then you will more or less end up back in the the place we left a few years back. But if we say we're talking about major commercial owners of commercial buildings, we're talking about the big product suppliers within e-charging, and we talk about the grid owners that want to deploy their power delivery. Then we see a huge opportunity both for being a part of, the professional rollout. It could be public chargers, etc. But of course, our core thing is not to really do only the installation. It is to get operations and maintenance in the rear, because then we have the long contracts, we have the stable, the steady cash flow, etc. So we focus on operation and maintenance, and just to be clear, we are not a power company. We focus on connectivity. We focus on the service and maintenance part. E.ON and Vattenfall and others, they provide all the power that's needed.
And about scale and managing things, and also a bit of sustainability, not having perhaps to make that extra travel. Yeah. You have a network operating center here in Stockholm.
Yeah. One of them is
about the ability to service your entire business from a few central hubs. How should we think about this as you hopefully continue to grow?
There's both a security issue. I mean, different countries have different security requirements. So if we look at neighboring countries, I cannot really say what, in terms of technology, it's quite easy to operate and run networks from one central location, whether it's in Stockholm or in Bombay, it doesn't matter. But we need to take security requirements into consideration.
And then the second final question from me is the Detta acquisition. You mentioned a bit of where you saw potential for synergies in certain ways. What are the kind of three main opportunities you see with this particular acquisition?
I would say that the first and primary area is that it is a customer synergy. We have larger customers, larger than just one country, and be able to grow and expand together with our customer, whether it's Telia, whether it's Telenor, or it has a major impact that we can provide the same services on the same platform, makes it very easy for our customers to be able to deliver more on the same way. And then, of course, I mean, we have resources and we have all the experience and all the tools we have developed here, because we are more, how do you say, more computerized in a way here in Sweden than they are in Norway.
And the final question, you released a press release not too long ago where you announced that you intend to step down as CEO and become chairman.
Assuming that the General Assembly will elect me.
Yeah, for sure. And that the CEO in your place will be the current CFO, Henning.
That's right.
And just, a bit of final remarks, why you decided.
It's just, it's really a lucky coincidence, so to speak. Our current chairman, Göran, has been chairman for 8 years. For him, it was to do the proper time to do a, how do you say, shift in generation. And for me, having been the CEO for 25 years, and when I get the opportunity to work from a board perspective, and so I said yes, of course. And for me, it was really easy because I had the best possible candidate to be CEO working right beside me. So that was really quick for us to agree. Okay, so let's do a generation shift, so to speak. So, but I'm quite confident that the road we have chosen to take, we're going to continue on that road, but we're going to do it properly.
With that, our time is up. Thank you.
Thank you very much
for joining us here. For those of you who are watching, please stay tuned, and the next company will be Avencia. Thank you.